Cookie, a delicate Siamese cat with creamy fur and striking blue eyes, lived in a bustling park surrounded by towering oaks and vibrant flower beds. She wasn't always a stray. Her elegant demeanor hinted at a past life where she might have been cherished. But now, the park was her home, a place full of noise, laughter, and, for Cookie, loneliness. Children often spotted her lurking near the playground, her sleek form blending with the shadows. Rather than approach her with kindness, they chased her with shouts and sticks, delighting in her frightened sprints to safety. Adults were no better. Some yelled at her to get away, and others sprayed water to keep her from lingering near their picnics. But there was one exception, a kind lady who visited the park every afternoon. The woman, middle-aged with soft gray hair and kind brown eyes, always carried a small bag of food just for Cookie. She had named her Cookie because of her sweet, gentle gaze. Unlike the others, the woman didn't scare Cookie. In fact, the cat trusted her entirely. Cookie would cautiously approach, meowing softly, and the woman would smile, laying out a feast of tuna or chicken in a small dish. It was the highlight of Cookie's days, and she began to wait for the lady near the park's edge every afternoon. One day, Cookie sat perched on her usual spot by the playground fence, her tail curled neatly around her paws. The hours passed, and the lady didn't come. Evening fell, and Cookie reluctantly returned to the small grove of trees where she slept, her belly empty and her heart heavy. The next day was no different. Cookie ventured out, scanning every figure that entered the park. She meowed pitifully, but no one paid her any attention. The lady didn't come again. Days stretched into nights, and Cookie's hope began to wane. She scavenged the trash bins, clawing through scraps for the tiniest morsels of food. Her once glossy coat grew dull, and her ribs became visible under her thin fur. The nights were the worst. The temperature dropped, and Cookie curled up tightly in the hollow of an old tree, shivering. The wind howled through the park, and rain soaked her to the bone. She dreamed of the lady's warm smile and the sound of her gentle voice calling, "Cookie, my sweet girl." On the sixth day, weak and starving, Cookie dragged herself to the playground one last time. Her paws were muddy, and her body ached from hunger. She sat beneath the swings, her head drooping. The children ignored her, too busy with their games, and the adults barely noticed the frail creature sitting alone. But then, through her hazy vision, Cookie saw her. The lady, carrying her familiar bag, hurried into the park. Cookie mustered every ounce of energy she had left, letting out a loud, croaky meow. "Cookie!" the lady called, dropping to her knees. Tears streamed down her face as she laid out a fresh meal. Cookie stumbled forward, purring weakly as she nibbled the food. The lady stroked her gently, whispering apologies. "I'm so sorry, Cookie. I went away for a few days. I didn't mean to leave you hungry." Cookie's heart swelled with relief and happiness. But as much as she loved the lady, she couldn't understand why the kind woman always left her behind. The lady's husband, she knew, was allergic to cats. She had longed to take Cookie home, but it was impossible. All she could do was feed her and hope that Cookie stayed safe. As the lady left that evening, Cookie followed her to the edge of the park, watching her disappear into the distance. She returned to her hollow tree, her belly full for the first time in days. Though Cookie's life in the park was hard and lonely, the lady's love, however fleeting, gave her the strength to carry on.